everyone. Welcome to Outdoors on the River, and it is my privilege to introduce to you today professional angler Randy Howell. Randy, it's great to have you with us today. And Randy, you are from North Carolina.
Yeah, originally North Carolina. That's where the passion for being a professional bass fisherman started in North Carolina. I grew up in eastern North Carolina in Lake Gaston. My dad was a big fisherman growing up, and he taught me the passion. I was the only child, so he taught me love fishing, love the outdoors. And my dad, actually my mom and dad bought a little fish camp marina business when I was 11 years old on Lake Gaston, and kind of got in, had a tackle store, boat rentals, gas dock. So I grew up in the fishing business, so to speak, in the marina business, and actually became a fishing guide at like 12 years old and was taking people fishing all the way through my teenage years. And in competitiveness with fishing and basketball and tournament fishing, that's how I got into it.
So, do you remember how old you were when you caught that first fish?
I was so young that I probably couldn't honestly say, but my mom and dad told me for years I was like 2 years old when I caught my first bass, and I saw pictures of it. And I mean, I had lots of pictures with my dad, when I looked like I wasn't even old enough to hold the rod yet, and I was in the boat fishing with him. So my whole life, that's all I've ever done.
Randy, you turned professional at 18 years of age, correct?
That's right.
You went on to win the 2014 Bassmasters Classic, and I'm not sure, I know a lot of folks will know, but maybe not everyone, that you've got St. Clair County connections. You ended up moving to Alabama.
Sure did, yeah. We left North Carolina back in 1998, and Alabama, and especially this central Alabama area, outside of Birmingham, St. Clair County, Springville, that was a really nice area. So we relocated there and lived there in Springville, St. Clair County for 15 years. And actually, when I won the Bassmaster Classic in Birmingham, Springville had a big parade, and it was just really a cool deal. And I hated to leave my people over there in Springville and St. Clair County because they were so good to me, to our family. And but we love Guntersville, and we always wanted to live up there. It's a really great lake, for being a professional angler on. A lot of transplants from other states are in that area, so that's the reason we moved there.
Fishing has taken you from your childhood in North Carolina. I know your family's so important to you. And then from North Carolina to Alabama. But beyond that, Randy, fishing's taken you all over the world, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I've been, I'm 49 years old. Done it since I was a teenager. It's all I've ever done. Me and my wife, Robin, we've been married May will be 31 years. We married right out of high school, and she's been along the ride all these years. My boys, Laker and Oakley, are 21 and 17, and we traveled the country for years. She's a teacher. She homeschooled them on the road for like 15, 16 years. And so we got to see 40 some states, and fishing a whole lot of them, and have a lot of good times growing up through fishing, my family and all. So it's been really, really fun and enjoyable to do what we love to do for a living, and have a platform to try to do something good, to help others at the same time.
With those opportunities to fish in many locations as you have, I bet you've come across some really special bodies of water. And talk to us a little bit about some of those lakes that stand out in your mind, maybe as some of your favorite places to fish.
Well, I tell you, there's so many great fisheries everywhere, but I'm telling you, when I think about it, I've been all over the country. It's hard to beat the resources we have right here in central Alabama, and right here in St. Clair County. Honestly, having Logan Martin Lake and having Neely Henry and all these Coosa River lakes, they're some of the best bass fishing lakes and rivers in the country to me. And Guntersville is one of those top lakes. That's a bucket list lake. People come from everywhere, vacation to go to Guntersville. Of course, it's a really good one too. But there's a lot of good Florida lakes, a lot of good Texas lakes, but probably ones that don't get talked about a lot are the northern lakes, because people here in New York, and you think, New York, I don't want to go to New York to go fishing, but it's some of the best fishing in upstate New York, away from the cities, smallmouth bass and largemouth bass, and a lot of those northern lakes are really good in the summertime too.
Talk a little bit about that tournament when you won the Bassmasters Classic, and just talk about what the feeling was. You had to know you were having some excellent fishing, and just talk a little bit about that experience out there actually during the tournament and how it felt.
I tell you, that's still one of the greatest events in the history books for not because I won it, but because of just the way it transpired. It was at Lake Guntersville, it was in Birmingham, and it was right here close to home. But going into the final day, I was in 11th place, 9.5 pounds out. Mathematically, didn't have a chance to win the last day, so wasn't really thinking about winning, and just went out there that day and just had a miracle day, straight from God above. I mean, just dropped the fish right on me, and I caught them better than I've ever caught them, and made the biggest comeback in the classic history that day, and won by 1 pound, and won that Super Bowl of bass fishing at the time with Bassmaster Classic. So that was a dream come true, and it made a huge difference in my career for sure.
Yeah, kind of one of those events that almost like last weekend's golf tournament, the Masters. When you win it, you've arrived.
Yeah, that's our goal. That's the goal of all of us at the time when you're fishing. We were fishing Bassmaster at the time, and that Classic is our goal. And now we fish Major League Fishing. Major League Fishing has a Red Crest event, which is similar to the Classic, same $300,000 purse and great opportunities through it. But that Classic is still in the history books as one of the greatest ever, and I'm thankful that I was able to win that, when I did. And it's been really amazing to watch all the doors that have opened and all the opportunities I've gotten because of that one event.
I caught a clip where you were having one of those great moments, and it seemed like fish were just dropping on you. You were very excited, but what was really cool is you had kind of like a gallery. You were fishing near a bank, maybe a dam, and there was an audience. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
That was that Bassmaster Classic that we just talked about. That was it was at a bridge. It was at the Highway 431 bridge in Guntersville, and that's where the big miraculous comeback happened that day. And not only did it happen for me to see myself, but it was like several hundred people gathered down the highway because they were following it on live stream and seeing it, and then they were all gathering there to watch it, and my wife and 2 boys, and where I got to sit there and watch it happen, not knowing that I was going to win, just thinking I was just having a great day fishing, and then all of a sudden in the end I won. So it just was like a Cinderella story come true.
Wow, so the Cinderella story of not only the remarkable comeback, but sometimes you're fishing and you're away from everybody.
Yeah, all the time. You never see anybody other than just a few other boats watching you on the lake fishing, and the live stream technology now, we get to be watched on the phone and on the computer and wherever, but nobody has ever been able to have a gallery like a golf gallery with that group of people there watching, and that was pretty special.
We've got Randy Howell, professional fisherman, with us today. We're going to take a quick break. We'll introduce you to our sponsors during the commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk to Randy some more. And Randy, what we want to talk about when we get back is some of the stuff that you've brought to the studio today and where you are today in your schedule with your career.
Sounds good.
I'm Dale Benton. Angling for some fun outdoors? Then come see us April the 22nd at Beeswax Park on Lay Lake. It's our 6th annual Benton Nissan Bass Fishing Tournament benefiting King's Home. Up for grabs are thousands of dollars worth of cash prizes for the best and biggest catches of the day. We're even giving away a brand new Nissan Frontier pickup truck. Food trucks, free fishing gear, fun for everyone. Register today at BentonBassTournament.com.
I'm Brian Collins with Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports in Pell City. From sales to service to parts, our goal at Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports is to meet all your ATV, side-by-side, and motorcycle needs. And we finance. We have experienced staff and certified technicians on hand in our service department. And we also have a wide variety of accessories, riding gear will keep you looking good. Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports on Comer Avenue, or call 205-473-0143.
When you're a Win South customer, we're with you all the time. Through the workday, into game day, dinner time, all the time. So now is the time to choose Win South. We're with you. Convenience, security, service. It's what we do. Win South. We own it.
Let the folks at the St. Clair Farmers Co-op in Pell City help you get the most out of your lawn, garden, or farm projects. They can supply you with everything you need to get maximum yields from whatever you're growing. Bonnie Garden Seeds and Plants, Pro Mix Soil, Premier Peat Moss, Batco Potting Soil, Fox Farm products, and more. The St. Clair Farmers Co-op in Pell City also has great deals on guns and bows. That's the St. Clair Farmers Co-op on Hardwick Road in Pell City. Locally owned by farmers with a great selection and old-fashioned service.
It's Fish Fest time at Bucks Island. Join us May 6th for our 5th annual Fish Fest. Bass boat demos on May 5th from 2 to 6:30 on Neely Henry. We'll have vendor booths, free raffle, free lunch, tackle discounts in the loft, and Q&A panels with top pros like
Me, Matt Herron.
Me, Scott Canterbury.
Me, Wes Logan.
Me, Lee Pitts.
And me, John Crew.
and more. Come to Fish Fest at Bucks Island, your boating and fishing headquarters, 4500 Highway 77 in Southside. Or call 1-800-I'm-READY.
Welcome back to Outdoors on the River. We've got Randy Howell, professional fisherman here. And Randy, you know we got some fishermen watching. Why don't you say a few things about helping them catch a fish with some of this stuff you brought today?
Yeah, man, I know everybody that's watching this, and all you want to do is catch more fish. That's like me. I want anything I can do to learn how to catch more bass. I brought some key baits that are big for me in the springtime, and really these will work year round. But top water, we're in the warm season now, starting to be. Once it's warm, you get past April, basically April the rest of the year, top water baits are really good, and these are two real special top waters by Livingston Lures, and Livingston these are both, they're called a Walking Boss and a Walking Boss Junior, and they're real easy for everybody to fish with. All you do is tie them on braided line. If you know what braided line is, it's better than regular line for these kind of baits. Make long casts with them and just reel them slow and steady, and they just tear the water up, and bass come up and smash them. That's the most fun fishing there is top water. Then when you got to slow down a little bit, which especially here at Logan Martin Lake and the Coosa River Lakes, after the top water bite slows down and gets sunny and hot, plastic baits get real popular. So the Yamamoto Cinco is one of the best fish catching baits of all time. Anything in the green pumpkin color family, but you can put that Cinco weightless and throw it around shoreline grass and weeds and trees and docks and catch fish like that. And you can put it on a shaky head and drag it on the bottom. And then the Yama Crawl here, this is a Yamamoto crawfish, and it's a perfect crawfish imitator. Has a float up legs on it. You can put it around brush piles and docks, trees, or fish it on a jig. It's a real versatile bait, but both of them baits will catch them when the sun's out good and bright and top water early and late, and boom, you got a recipe to catch some bass.
Today's technology is not just what you use to catch fish, but also the boat and the equipment on the boat. Talk to me about that, especially the technological aspect.
Oh man, that has changed the game for everybody, not only local fishermen, but professional anglers, man. Now the big deal is forward-facing sonar. You hear everybody that watches fishing, you watch any of the Major League Fishing live stream, everybody's talking about forward-facing sonar. So Lowrance Graphs are the brand I run. Lowrance makes really good stuff. The active target is on your trolling motor pointing out, and so now we can see fish 120, even 150 feet out in front of the boat. Anywhere we turn that scope basically is just seeing them and showing them right to you. You still can't make them bite, but you can see them and you can target where they're at. Instead of casting aimlessly around in the open water, now I can see, boom, there's a fish right there by that tree, and I'll throw over there, and then you can cast multiple times with this bait, that bait, and give them a variety until you make them bite, hopefully. So that's changed a whole lot. It's making competitive angling more efficient now. We don't waste as much time anymore, and that's why so many more people are catching more big fish now than they ever have, because the technology has made it easier and faster to catch fish.
Randy, you talked about how much you enjoy fishing these central Alabama lakes and rivers, and I'm sure you can relate. I grew up here in Pell City, and here on Logan Martin Lake, these waterways are kind of part of your identity as who you are when you grow up. I mean, you have a real affection for these waterways, growing up, swimming in it, sporting in it, and of course fishing. And talk a little bit about these Coosa River lakes and maybe any hints and special spots in these lakes here in our area that you love to fish.
Well, when I moved here in 1998, I was 24 years old, and I'd never fished. I had fished my first Bassmaster Classic when I was 23 years old on Logan Martin Lake in Birmingham before I moved here. And when I first came to Logan Martin and fished in that Classic, I thought, man, I love this lake, I love this area, and that was one of the reasons just a year later we moved here, because the Coosa River is so special because you have so many spotted bass and largemouth, plus striper and catfish, crappie, everything else. So you got just a great resource of abundance of all types of fish, but you can always catch a spotted bass a lot of times when you can't catch a largemouth, and that's what makes these lakes, I think, special, because you can catch both, and they're healthy, and you know, you catch big ones, and it's just a lot of people that know that now. It's a lot of pressure on the lakes now versus back years ago. It wasn't as many people out there. Now boat ramps are crowded every day, and everybody knows it's great on the Coosa River, so they all show up to fish. So you got to have the right electronics, you got to have all the right baits to be able to catch fish and be competitive. But it's definitely, like you say, it's special. I know that I'm like you to have grown up here and fished. I was in my 20s before I first got the experience, but I know it's a special place to live and be able to fish.
Is there really a perfect type day to fish in terms of weather, the season, the temperature, the water temperature? What would that day be to you?
Man, I tell you, that's a good question, and I've heard it quite a bit too. And you know, you can get so many different answers, so many different opinions. That's the crazy thing about fishermen and professional fishing. You know, everybody's got a different opinion, and it all works. You know, that's the cool thing about fishing. But probably the best day to me, I love springtime fishing, because spring, when it first warms up and the fish are they've been wintered up and cold all year, and finally the water's warm, they're ready to come up to the bank and spawn and eat. And that's the best time. A cloudy day with a little breeze, water 65 to 70 degrees, temperature in the 70s, that's the perfect day for me.
I think a lot of time you guys are fans of each other, but still love to compete. Who out there in the professional fishing world really gets your competitive juices flowing?
Well, as far as somebody I really looked up to and was like a hero in the early years was Jimmy Houston and Hank Parker. You know, those guys are all TV fishermen. Everybody that watches fishing on TV knows those guys, and I've gotten to be friends with them, and you know, when I first started out. And so those guys were ones that I really looked up to a lot. And now we got a whole new group. You know, Kevin Van Dam's been around for a while now on our tour. He's actually retiring this year, announced it, thank God, because he's won enough of our money and taken enough of our checks and trophies, and he's one of the greatest of all time, and he's one that really has always kept me, you know, competitive, wanting to beat him, because he's always been so competitive and so good. And now we got a new group of guys, like right down here in Chilton County. One of the best out here on our tour now is Dustin Connell, and he come from he fished at Alabama on the college team, you know, and Jacob Wheeler, he's been leading the way on our tour now. So there's a whole group of younger anglers that are in their 30s, and they're, you know, smoking and with the electronics now, and they're better with electronics than some of the guys like me that have been around a while. So I'm learning how to get better as we speak, just trying to stay competitive. But that's the cool thing about fishing. It's a humbling sport. You can be a hero today and a zero tomorrow, and vice versa. That's why we all chase that dream every day, to catch that bass and win, you know.
Yep, and here we are. It's April. The temperatures are warming up. The water levels are coming up.
Coming up.
And talk about your schedule. You're going to be in the heart of it and fishing soon. What's on the schedule coming up?
We've been wide open. So we start in usually early February, and this year I've had all of February, March. I've been out of town and in other tournaments and other places, and we're in a little break here, and I go to Louisiana next week for the Major League Fishing Heavy Hitters Tournament in Monroe, Louisiana, and I actually caught the tour record and my personal best bass last year at this lake in Louisiana. It was 12 pounds, 14 ounce bass. It was the biggest I ever caught. So I'm going back there for that tournament in Louisiana here late April. And then we'll be at Guntersville back home. It's be the first Bass Pro Tour pro tournament that we've had on Lake Guntersville since the tour started there. So that's mid-May. And so, encourage everybody to come out for that event. It's going to be a lot of people up there. It'll be a great event. And then we'll start working our way north, start heading into New York, Michigan, places like that as it gets hot in the summer. And we'll be out of Alabama where it's going to be stuffy at.
All right, well, we're going to take another break, and we'll be back with our last segment in just a few minutes to talk to Randy Howell about some things that are very special to you, your faith, and some charities you're involved with. So stick around for our third segment coming up.
It's Fish Fest time at Bucks Island. Join us May 6th for our 5th annual Fish Fest. Bass boat demos on May 5th from 2 to 6:30 on Neely Henry. We'll have vendor booths, free raffle, free lunch, tackle discounts in the loft, and Q&A panels with top pros like
Me, Matt Herron.
Me, Scott Canterbury.
Me, Wes Logan.
Me, Lee Pitts.
And me, John Crew.
and more. Come to Fish Fest at Bucks Island, your boating and fishing headquarters, 4500 Highway 77 in Southside. Or call 1-800-I'm-READY.
Let the folks at the St. Clair Farmers Co-op in Pell City help you get the most out of your lawn, garden, or farm projects. They can supply you with everything you need to get maximum yields from whatever you're growing. Bonnie Garden seeds and plants, Pro Mix soil, Premier peat moss, Batco potting soil, Box Farm products, and more. The St. Clair Farmers Co-op in Pell City also has great deals on guns and bows. That's the St. Clair Farmers Co-op on Hardwick Road in Pell City. Locally owned by farmers with a great selection and old-fashioned service.
I'm Brian Collins with Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports in Pell City. From sales to service to parts, our goal at Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports is to meet all your ATV, side-by-side, and motorcycle needs. And we finance. We have experienced staff and certified technicians on hand in our service department. And we also have a wide variety of accessories, riding gear will keep you looking good. Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports on Comer Avenue or call 205-473-0143.
When you're a Win South customer, we're with you all the time. Through the workday, into game day, dinner time, all the time. So now is the time to choose Win South. We're with you. Convenience, security, service. It's what we do. Win South. We own it.
Angling for some fun outdoors? Then come see us April the 22nd at Beeswax Park on Lay Lake. It's our 6th annual Benton Nissan Bass Fishing Tournament benefiting King's Home. Up for grabs are thousands of dollars worth of cash prizes for the best and biggest catches of the day. We're even giving away a brand new Nissan Frontier pickup truck. Food trucks, free fishing gear, fun for everyone. Register today at BentonBassTournament.com.
Welcome back to Outdoors on the River. We're with Randy Howell today, and Randy, I appreciate you so much coming in and visiting with us, and I wanted to wrap up this episode of Outdoors on the River giving you an opportunity to talk about something that I've recognized just in my research and seeing you in videos and other interviews, how important your faith and charities are to you. One in particular, and I just wanted you to talk about those things.
Yeah, I've been really blessed. Me and Robin have been really blessed in this sport to be given a platform to be able to try to do good things, you know. And we've been, like I say, since I've been in Alabama, I've been part of Church of the Highlands up in Birmingham, and now we're at the Gadsden campus is where we go now. And just trying to have live a life of generosity, you know, and keep it, you know, we're given a lot and we're expected to do the same back. And so we partnered with King's Home, which is a Christian nonprofit here in Birmingham area. They've got campuses all around, you know, Jefferson, St. Clair, Chilton. They got campuses in you know, different homes scattered all around. They help a lot of kids, a lot of mothers with children, a lot of women. It's a two-part ministry. You know, over 150 people a year are helped and cared for by King's Home. So we've been doing that by giving my boat away. So my fully loaded Triton tournament boat last year was like $100,000 value. This year it's about $100,000. This boat this year, we've been using that boat every year to give away as for $100 tickets. And you go kingshome.com. A lot of people are watching this. You probably already know about it. You probably already donated to it because we've given away a couple winners here in Alabama in this area have won the boat in the past. And so every year we've been able to raise a little more each year, a little more. I think we're up to like I think last year we probably hit about $2.5 or $6 million we raised in 12 years with that boat giveaway. So last year we raised a little over $400,000 with that boat. So it's just an awesome opportunity to have. I got great sponsors and great partners. That's why I wear this jersey. All the people that are on this jersey support us, and they support, you know, good Christian charities like King's Home, you know, and then Dale Benton and Benton Nissan, which is also a sponsor of the show here. Dale and Victoria, they're big time donators to a lot of ministries, a lot of charities, and they help by. And when we do this bass tournament that's coming up at Lay Lake, the Benton Nissan Bass Tournament, that tournament is about $40,000 to $50,000 raised in that every year to go straight to those homes. So that makes a huge difference. When we are able to give $300,000 or $400,000 to King's Home in a year with a boat, that goes a long way. So all you got to do is you just go to kingshome.com, click on my name, Randy Howell, or a picture of the boat, and you can donate $100 anytime on that boat giveaway and get you a ticket to try to win it. And it's a big November 12th event we have out in Chelsea, Alabama, not far from here. We'll have a big kids fishing event. It's a free event to come out to, and we fish with the kids, give them free fishing equipment, let them catch fish for the first time, and then we end with a live stream drawing on the air, right on live stream. And we get people donating from almost 50 states and about 7 other countries now. That's how big the bass fishing footprint is around the world of people that want to help and want to have a chance to win that boat. So we're glad to be able to do it.
That's awesome. And you mentioned Dale Benton and Benton Nissan, and Benton Nissan in Oxford is one of our new partnerships, and so we have that related partner, and we're so excited. We're actually going to be at Lay Lake on April 22nd, part of their 6th annual bass fishing tournament. We're actually going to be there on remote, so we're so excited to be a part of that. And again, as Randy said, those that benefits the King's Home charity, and that's just
right.
100%. That's so awesome. Randy, I want to thank you again so much for coming out, taking the time to be with us today. I want to thank our great sponsors for Outdoors on the River, Benton Nissan of Oxford, Bucks Island Marine, St. Clair County Co-op, Two Wheel Heaven Power Sports, and Win South Credit Union.